You're listening to the Clean Comedy Podcast with James Creviston and Luke LaCoy.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Clean Comedy Podcast. It's James. It's another day. It's another dollar. It's some more funny money. Luke is here with me today. Luke, what are you up to?
Getting that funny money all day.
Getting
every
that
day,
funny money.
I guess.
selling stuff on eBay. Actually, here's my problem that I have right now with money. I keep buying like comedians' books. Like I bought this book. I like to buy joke books. Like I keep buying. My wife's like, "How many more books do you need?" I'm like, "I don't know. How many books do they sell on stuff?" I keep buying books. So that's where all my money goes. Although I did buy the Jerry Seinfeld doing stand-up Funko Pop, so that's coming to me when it's going to sit on my desk and remind me to write every single day because that's what Jerry does. Right? Do you have anything like that? Like anything that reminds you of stuff or to do stuff?
No.
Well, if you want someone to, today's guest is amazing because if you want someone to inspire you to write, to get on it, to like be on point, this is the person for you. Most people probably know her from the a Millennial Job Interview video, which had like hundreds of millions of views and is one of the funniest things ever on YouTube. I don't care what anyone says. There's nothing funnier. That Star Wars kid sucks compared to this. He's terrible. No one should ever bring him up again. We're bringing him up for this last time, but I want to introduce you guys to probably she's gonna be a huge star one day, and we have her first. So please give it up for the very funny, the very talented Melissa Tucker.
Thank you for that amazing introduction, and thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, we are so happy to have you. I know that you and I kind of went back and forth on trying to get you on a couple times, so it kind of went back and forth. Yes, you could, then you couldn't make it or whatever. You're a busy person, that's why. I mean, what are you doing all the time? Or can you, and kind of before I get there, how about that? How did you get started in this comedy thing? How did you get to that Millennial Job Interview thing? Like, how did all that come about? Like, tell us kind of your origin story.
Yeah. So, well, I grew up in the Valley.
Really?
So I did. Yeah. If you can tell. If you can't tell. So yeah, I grew up there. And then I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. And then from there, I'll just kind of fast forward. The Millennial Job Interview came about. I actually did it at a theater. And after I did it, everybody was like, "Oh, you should totally shoot this." Like everybody just really liked it. And they're like, "You should totally like shoot it." And so I was like, okay, I was kind of going back and forth and debating it for a while. I was like, should I even do this? Like, I don't know. Like, is this, I don't even know if there's a point, but I was like, I'm going to shoot it, to have like another scene. And it was great because it was comedy. So I ended up shooting it. And this guy, Daniel, shot it for me. And then he was kind of like, oh, he's like, we should just put this out there. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So we started like putting it out. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh my God, like, do you see what's happening? And I was like, no. And I just went on and ended up just being crazy and kind of blowing up and stuff. And it's so funny because when I first watched it, and maybe it's just because like, I guess whenever anybody watches themselves, I was like immediately like, oh, I could have done that better. Or I could have done this better. Like, just immediately like critical of it. And I was like, whatever, I guess it's like, okay,
You're a true artist. That's what all artists do.
Right. So I was like, it's just like that immediate thing, like, like, I guess like it's okay, but I wish I would have done this or, whatever it is. And then, so it was like super crazy when it blew up the way that it did and just went all over the world and really crazy.
I saw it a long time before I met you, a little while before I met you. What's funny is you and I met via Upwork, where you're working on some stuff and we wrote a couple things together. One of them was a Game of Tinder, which is like a Game of Thrones parody, which is so much fun to write. We both like went back and forth with different lines. There's a lot of good stuff in it. You were amazing. And I can't believe you played all those different roles. Like, that's what was great about it.
Yeah. I was when I like was thinking about doing it, for some reason I just kept kind of, because doing like the voices, you know, of like Jon Snow and of the different characters. So I just ended up kind of playing all the different ones. But
Yeah.
yeah, which was one of the ones I did that on. But it was like so great writing that with you, because I just felt like the lines that you did, like I was able to work off of that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know, I just felt like the collaboration with it was really good.
Yeah, we had a great collaboration. And then you went on to do Marissa Goes to Washington, which, man, I cannot wait for more episodes. I know that you're probably on hiatus because of all the COVID stuff or whatever,
Mhm.
but wow, it is so funny. And it's actually like a great view on politics and the things that go beyond. Like, have you worked in a political office before, done anything like that? Or how'd you get the information for that?
No, I haven't. But you know, I've like paid attention and I watched the news and you know all of that. But I just thought it would be so much fun because I was trying to think what would be a fun. You know, I felt like people had so much fun with the character, and I was like, what would be a fun thing to do? And it was just like, what if she went into politics? You know, and I think you know people have so much fun with like the two different generations coming together and like trying to work together and you know, just kind of learning from, you know what I mean? Like seeing each side. So I kind of just went into it and just, you know, started learning more about politics and
Well, the only reason I asked you that is because during I think it was my sophomore year in college, I worked for a senator. I worked in a senator's office, and legitimately, we had meetings like that where they would say something to your face, and then you'd walk out of the room and they'd say something totally different. And
Mhm.
it was like internal politics that were like worse than like I was like, man, this is terrible. I worked there for just for that one semester, and then I
Mhm.
like left. But the funniest thing I learned there, maybe you can incorporate this into a thing, is have you ever got a letter from like a president or a senator or something like that? Like, you don't have you seen those?
Yeah.
They never sign them. It's a machine that they
Right.
have that has their signature. And my job when I would get done, like from college, I would go there. I would spend the day signing letters. I had to like put it on a little thing, put a pin on there, and it would like it was an auto signer, and it would sign them. And I would do like 100 of them every day.
Oh, that's so funny.
I
I
always want to just practice it and do it myself by hand, but I was like, I'll mess it up. It'll be terrible.
Yeah, no, totally. I could never do that. But yeah, exactly. And that's why too, because I wanted it to be like you know, like a story and be able to have like, you know, these twists and turns and like, you know, politics is so shady. So I wanted to have all this, you know, shady stuff going on and you know, and also like why they would even hire her, you
Right.
know, like there had to be some kind of reason. Um, you know, but then also that she comes in and kind of shows that there's like more to her,
Yeah.
you know, so yeah, I just thought there was like so many different things you could do with it.
So you said you went to dramatic, like a dramatic arts school. What made you get into comedy, or what was that? Just like because of the Millennial Job Interview thing, or did you want to do comedy, or like how did that work?
Well, actually, when I went to the school, when I went to school at first, I was like, oh, I'll probably just do. For some reason, when I first went to school, I was like, oh, I'm probably just gonna do drama. Like, I'll probably just do more drama. But then I started, you know, there would be comedy scenes and stuff, and I started doing comedy there, and it just kind of ended up going well. And
Yeah.
so, you know, people were like, you should do more comedy, like get into comedy. And so I kind of slowly started like getting more into it. And then this ended up coming up, the Millennial Job Interview. And I was already liked doing comedy before that. But after that, I just decided to really, you know, take off with it. And it was great too, because after Millennial Job Interview, it got me into writing and doing my own stuff and like, you know, just being able to use a lot of like that creativity. And now I just like, I love comedy so much. And, um, you know, and so I just kind of felt like I'm going to kind of just go with that
That's
right
good.
now.
Luke, did you have a question?
I'm curious. Do you have any comedy influences or people you really look up to in the comedy world?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many. But like one, because I like how a lot of them, like Steve Carell, which I know is like a big one, but I just like love him because I also love how he was able to go from comedy like into dramatic roles as well.
Hmm.
you know, because I would want to do that also, like, because I do like drama too, but I like, you know, I think he's just so good, like his style and his comedic style, and Kristen Wiig, and um, you know, she's amazing, and Steve Martin, Jerry Seinfeld, Larry David. I love Seinfeld. I like still watch it all the time.
Yep. Same.
So I want to get his book too. But yeah, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, I love her. She's like a big inspiration for me. So yeah, I know there's more, but that's just a
I imagine Tina Fey being one of the people that you would have probably like been big.
yeah, Tina Fey too, definitely.
Because you have that kind of, you have her kind of style and like cadence when you talk. So I kind of like it a lot. Like it makes me think of that.
Oh,
So
well, thank you. I super appreciate that. I love Tina Fey. So yeah, she's definitely one of them too.
what are your some of your goals in the future? Like, do you want to write a movie? Do you want to like what are your goals? Because you seem like you have the ability to do anything. Like you can knock it out of the ballpark anywhere. Just don't come do stand up. Don't take stand up away from us.
Thanks. I just think about it. I was like, maybe I should do.
No, you can't. You can't. We'll help. I'll help you if you want to do stand up.
I was gonna say if I did, I would come to you.
Yeah.
Anyways, so, but yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, I would love to write a movie. You know, definitely like a TV show. I've been doing a lot of stuff now. Like, a lot of people are like, you should get on TikTok. And at first, I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if my stuff is like for TikTok, you know. But they were like, no, you should like start doing it. And so, because I just thought TikTok was like, you know, I don't know. I just didn't know if my clips were for it, but I got on it. So I've been, you know, like apparently TikTok is the place.
It is.
Yeah. So putting a lot of like all my stuff on there. I just did this one recently where it was like with, I don't know if you saw it, but it's like the most recent one I did. And it's like, there's like a lawsuit happening.
The lawsuit one where you like TikToked live while you were doing it. That was hilarious.
Yeah. So I just put that one up, and that one's, you know, people really like that one. So I don't know. Yeah, my goal would be to definitely like, you know, write a TV show. Definitely do TV, film, just all of it. I love everything.
Right. What do you, I mean, do you have writing software that you use or anything like that? If not, I would recommend Fade In Pro. It's probably one of the best writing softwares there are.
Yeah, I've just been using Celtic.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't know if that's just like a beginner one, because I just started. So I started writing the Marissa Goes to Washington one, and I was like just new at it, and so I just got Celtic, and then I just like once I started writing, I was just like, oh, couldn't stop. But I know that I want to like get, you know, the like that one you said, and
yeah. That's my favorite one. Because you can do radio stuff, screenplays, comic books, like TV, and they have all the different templates for it, so it makes it so much easier for you to write. It's one of my favorite ones, and I write constantly. The other thing I would say for you is probably to write, like, find one of your favorite shows that you like to watch and write like a spec script of it, and get a spec script that you can read, or actual script of the show, and then write a spec script, because it'll teach you the structure of the show so much easier. Like my first one was Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like I absolutely love that show. So I wrote a spec script, and it got me a lot of work and a lot of different stuff. I actually might have sent it to you at one point to read. I think maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, like a while ago. No, that's a great idea. I definitely will do that.
You have a lot of skills. You're very funny. You have a unique persona that you bring. I think you should do stand up, actually. Now that at first I was like, don't do stand up because you'll take it away from us. But now I'm thinking like, you definitely should do stand up. Where are you, in New York or LA now?
I'm in LA now.
Okay, good. Yeah. So definitely.
I came out here when the pandemic hit it back last year, a year ago.
Yeah.
I got out of New York, and so I'm living back in LA now. I'm in Santa Monica.
Nice. Yeah, you definitely should try stand up. And there is like a good club.
I thought about it, but then I was like, I kept going back and forth. I'm like, I don't know, like, should I? But like, I wanted to try it, but then I wasn't sure. But yeah, if I do, I would totally like have you help me, because
yeah. And if you didn't even want to do it as you could do it as Marissa, like have Marissa like come as Marissa and do stand up, and like, but like do it like you're gonna do a benefit or something, like something silly would be fun too, because you just have that
thing.
Yeah, and you're so good at it. I know that's not who you are, but you're so good at that.
Thank you.
what kind of movies would you want to do? Like, would you want to do like a action comedy or like a rom-com, or like what kind of stuff would you want to do if you could?
Really, like everything. Like I honestly love everything. Like I would do action, comedy, rom-com, drama, um, thriller. Like I just everything. I love doing everything.
Is there any genre that you don't like?
I think I would be like I would do it, but I think I would be a little scared to do like a horror film because it scares me. So I just get, because sometimes I've like watched them. I'm like, I don't know if I could do that, like be in the movie, because I feel like I would get so scared.
I almost think you could do like you could do a version. I think it's like called Dale and Tucker versus Evil. I don't know if you ever seen that one, but
No.
it's like a comedy horror movie where like these two redneck guys, they look scary, and so everyone's like terrified of them, and people keep dying around them, but it's not their fault. Like it's an accidental thing, but everyone thinks they're like murderers and like, or like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre type people, but they're not. It's a hilarious like horror comedy. I think you could do something like that where you're like an accidental serial killer, like, you know.
No, totally. I could, yeah, definitely. As long as it's not like with the ghosts and
Yeah, no ghost. Oh, I don't like those kind of movies either, like Poltergeist or whatever. I'm not into
yeah,
those.
yeah,
I like the old school like 80s, 90s slasher type films and stuff.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Luke, question?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the horror either, so that's,
Yeah.
I don't touch any of that.
Yeah, like, I like ghosts and some of the horror films, because you also hear stories too of when people worked on some of these horror films. They're like of stuff actually happening like on the set and these things happening, and I'm like, there's no way I could go through that. Like, like you hear all like the stories about like, oh, and I went home, and I'm like, no way. I just can't.
What was your question, Luke? I know you had a question too.
I read that you're an avid hot dog fan, as am I. I love hot dogs. Favorite brand?
Oh.
It's so funny that that's on there because I kept meaning to change it because it literally says my two favorite things. I like acting and but I do really like hot dogs, so I won't. But the brand, so the brand, like if I'm at home, I'll get like the Hebrew Nationals, or like Ballpark. But the hot dogs that I think are so good actually are the ones like, I mean, I don't think they really have them anymore, but like they would have these hot dogs on Hollywood Boulevard, and it was like mostly when people would like come out of the clubs and stuff, get the hot dogs and everything. But I just always thought they were so good.
Yeah.
Anyways, those are really good. And what about you?
I'm with the Hebrew crew. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not like too much. They're like still really good, but they're not too heavy or anything. They're not like too much. So
Yeah.
You guys are great hot dog connoisseurs.
Oh.
Well, okay. So have you guys had Dodger dogs? Either one of you had Dodger dogs?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. I was going to be like also Dodger dogs.
Wait, Luke, did you say you've never had a Dodger dog?
I don't go to sports games.
Oh, we're going to a Dodger game when it opens back up. We're gonna go, dude. Dodger dogs. The problem with Dodger dogs is, I don't know if you ever bought them at the store, Melissa, and try to make them yourself.
No.
Yeah. So if you have them at home, I don't know why they taste totally different than the ones that you have at the ballpark, and I don't know if it's like how they cook them.
Yeah.
What?
That's what I figured. So I think that's why I never bought them, because I'm like, I feel like they're not going to taste the same. They're
not the same. I mean, they literally are the same hot dog, but for some reason they don't taste the same. So it's like, okay, I feel like I'm cheating on like the Dodger Stadium. It's not right.
Yeah, because I feel like they cook them just like a certain way or something.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I never bought them, because I was thinking it's not going to taste the same, and and it's not like, and it's so funny because when I go to like a Dodger game, sometimes I think I literally go just because I'm like, I gotta get the Dodger dog, ice cream. I go just to eat. But so if anything, you could go to the game just to,
Yeah, you don't have to pay attention, Luke. It's like 5 hours. Yeah. So like you don't have to pay attention for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Most people don't, by the way. So that's what we're gonna have to do. You and I are gonna have to go to a Dodger game, Luke, and we're gonna have to like eat Dodger dogs and stuff.
Yeah,
And
you guys definitely
make TikToks, because
Yeah.
Luke is good at TikToks too. He helped our friend David do a lot on TikTok and really like boost his
really?
TikTok. So he has like a secret document somewhere that he has about how to do stuff on TikTok. So we'll hook that up later.
Yeah, I mean, we kept all the analytics in a spreadsheet for his account. It's really weird. Doesn't make sense most of the time.
No, totally. I mean, I know there is like analytics, but I try to understand that analytics, and I just feel like it's so complicated.
I found it. This is what's bizarre. Like a lot of character stuff works really well. Like there's an account that it's Kip from Napoleon Dynamite, like doing karaoke songs, but it's not actually. I just found out it's not the real Kip. Like I thought it was the real Kip.
Oh, he's
doing
that
this.
good?
Really?
Well, yeah, he looks exactly like him, and
Wow.
he's just like. But then like I showed my wife, and she was like, "But he has all these tattoos. That's not." I don't remember that from Napoleon Dynamite. And it turns out, yeah, it's just like this guy doing the Kip character.
Oh my gosh! But everyone
And-
thinks it's him.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did, you know, I don't know.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
It's a good account though. That one's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, I know there's also there's like that Tom Cruise one, or there was, where this guy did like a really good impersonation of Tom Cruise, and
Yeah.
his account was just doing like impersonations of him and stuff. And I heard
That's
about-
awesome.
yeah.
Wow. And what kind of characters are you doing on TikTok? Are you just doing the cuts of like Marissa Goes to Washington and stuff like
I'm
that?
just putting my clips from things I do. So obviously, because you can only do up to a minute.
Yeah.
And so I've just been like putting my clips on there, and that's why at first I thought, I was like, I don't know if my stuff is for that, because but they were like, no, just like do it. And so I just started putting clips from like stuff that I do, and then I put the I don't know if you saw this one. It was like a quarantine date, so it's like I go on this date with the masks, and then the guy ends up like having the soul patch and stuff, and I didn't know or whatever. But anyway, so I put that one on there, and then I'll pull it up really quick. But yeah, I just put clips from everything I do.
I almost think you should have Marissa get an internship at a news place like Millennial News Network, and then do like news stories, but they're like terrible versions of it. Like she's not clear about what the news story is. Like it starts off with like the real information, but then have you ever watched like the monologues on like the late shows and stuff, where they tell you the real news title, but then they give you like a silly ending, like something like that, where you are like, you do news reporting as Marissa, and then you do like just like silly monologue news pieces like that. That might be funny because those would be short enough to work, right?
Yeah, that's a great idea too, and people like love it on TikTok. So I'm like, I need like more material and stuff. I'm like, they'll be like, oh, like do another one. And I'm like, oh my god, what do I do?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, just take Marissa on the road, do stuff, shopping at Trader Joe's, cooking something she's never cooked before. I don't know what.
So much. There's really just so much.
Yeah,
you do, and that's why it's like so fun to just come up with like different things. And
you built a great character. That's the thing, is like on SNL, people had characters they played for years. And a lot of times, sometimes they're hit and miss with different characters they tried, but everyone knows like the church lady, everyone knows Wayne and Garth, everyone knows the cheerleaders. Like, you made a character that people know. That's amazing. That's so difficult. That's impressive. Now you have to write a Marissa movie.
Right. I know. Well, it's cool too, because like even like from the clips that I'll post on TikTok, people will be like, what movie is this from? Or like, what TV show is this from? With just different clips from everything. And so I'm like, I know, which like, let's make it a movie. But yeah, so definitely would,
that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on a Marissa movie. We're going to work on that. That's what we're going to work on.
Yeah. No, and I would love for you guys to like help me and stuff. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, totally, with like TikTok and with like writing and stuff. Like, yeah.
And at the art school that you went to, the dramatic art school, did they teach you writing stuff, or was it purely like acting?
It was purely acting. Like you had different classes. Like it would be like you had movement class and voice and speech class, and like scene study. So it was like a lot of just different acting stuff. And then I just kind of got into writing on my own and just ended up like being like, oh wow, I really love writing. And
Right.
so
Well, that's the way to do it. I mean, that's how you have to get started.
yeah.
Perfect. Luke, any more questions? Ask her now before she gets famous. She's
No,
gonna get famous, so we're not gonna get her again.
I look forward to checking out your TikToks, and I'll follow you, and yeah, looking forward to seeing what you come up with.
Yeah, thank you. I'll send you the stuff, and yeah, I would love for you guys to like check it out, and also for us to like work together too. That would be awesome. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, and this was like so much fun. Yeah.
Perfect. Now you get to plug all your stuff, plug everything that you have, so that everyone knows where to find you. Don't plug your address or anything like that. Just plug like your TikTok and stuff. I'm on Topanga. No, I'm just.
So it's just always so funny plugging stuff. But okay, so Instagram, I'm on Instagram, Melissa May 94. TikTok, Melissa Tucker 02. I should probably change my name on some of these, but anyways, Melissa Tucker 02 on TikTok, and then YouTube, Melissa Tucker. You can just look that up and it will come up. And I have my web series on there, Marissa Goes to Washington, which new episodes will be coming soon. And it's going to actually start getting into a lot of like the, twists and turns and stuff. And a lot of exciting things will be going on. And yeah, and I'm also, having a bunch of like fun stuff on TikTok and Instagram. So I would love for everyone to follow me and yeah, join me in the journey.
How many episodes do you have for season 1 of Marissa Goes to Washington? Like, what are you going to end it at? Or when you're going to end it at on a cliffhanger, I would assume, and then you're going to go to season 2. But how many episodes are you going to have for the first season?
So for the first season, I think 6 or 7.
Okay.
I
think are we at 6? I'm going to go back now because I was like, I watched all these the other day. Yeah, 5. Okay, so 6 or 7. Okay.
Yeah, so there might just be either 1 or 2, like 2 more episodes, and then we'll go into the second season. So
awesome.
This is when it'll start to really
heat up. All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Luke, where can everyone find you at?
At the Dodger games.
They're not happening yet, buddy. Unfortunately, they're not happening yet. I think
they'll go. You will.
Yeah, I'm going to take you. But I think opening day is the beginning of April, and I don't know how they're going to do it yet. So if they do, we won't go opening day because those tickets are like $5,000. So I can't afford that. But we'll go to a cheap game when they play like somebody like the Tampa Bay Rays or something, that nobody likes.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know how it is when you guys go.
Yeah, see.
Definitely.
All right, Luke, where can people find you at? Don't say the Dodger.
Yeah, Luke LaCoy on the stuff. You know where it is.
On all the social medias.
On the stuff.
Yeah, there you go. I have no social media because that's not who I am. But you can go to jamesdcrevison.com or ComedyPreneur.com. We have our podcast everywhere. We shifted to a new service provider, so you will be hearing more commercials in there. If you please listen to commercials, that helps support the podcast. It's 30 seconds of your life. You watch 30-second commercials on YouTube all the time, so don't stress about it. But I'm going to try not to put any middle ads in there right now because I don't really want to do that to anybody. But we do have paid for ads, and we do have a great podcast coming up in the next couple of weeks where we have Stacey King, the Chicago Bull, is going to be on the podcast. We're going to do one episode with David Studebaker and Luke and I where we talk about sports, and we're going to do some sports trivia and some other things. Spoiler alert, Luke does not know sports, just so we're all clear on that. So it's going to be a fun time. And then we're going to have the amazing, very funny Stacey King, who is the 3-time world champion Chicago Bull and also probably one of the funniest sports commentators out there. So thank you guys so much. Please check out Melissa's stuff. Go check it out on YouTube. We'll put the links in the show notes. Check out Luke's stuff. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and have a great day. Bye.